Ever wondered how rich Saudi Arabia really is? This question has sparked many conversations and debates around the world. From the outside looking in, Saudi Arabia appears to be dripping in wealth, a veritable oasis in the desert. But is it all just a mirage? Is the kingdom's wealth as vast as it seems, or is there more to the story? Many of us have a picture of Saudi Arabia painted with broad strokes of opulence and extravagance, a land where gold seems as common as sand. This perception is not entirely unfounded. In fact, Saudi Arabia is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Let's take a look at some numbers, shall we? According to the International Monetary Fund, Saudi Arabia ranks among the top 20 economies globally in terms of gross domestic product, or GDP. That's quite an impressive feat for a country that's largely covered by desert. But here's where it gets interesting. While it's true that Saudi Arabia is swimming in wealth, it's also true that this wealth is not evenly distributed. The country is often seen as a symbol of prosperity, but that prosperity is not universally shared among its population. The image of gold-laden streets is more of a mirage than a reality for many Saudis. This brings us to a crucial point of discussion. The perception of Saudi Arabia's wealth is often skewed by the opulent lifestyles of its royal family and upper echelons of society. But beneath this surface of glittering gold and shimmering silks, there is a different story to discover. Just like any other country, Saudi Arabia has its share of challenges. It's not all gold and glitz. There's a stark contrast between the wealthy and the not-so-wealthy, between the haves and the have-nots. But what are the sources of Saudi Arabia's immense wealth? Let's explore. And as we peel back the layers of this fascinating country, we'll uncover the truth behind the mirage, revealing the real sources of its wealth and the challenges it faces along the way. Oil, the black gold, forms the backbone of Saudi Arabia's economy. This statement rings true, now more than ever. It's no secret that this Middle Eastern nation holds the second largest oil reserves in the world, a whopping 1/5 of the globe's total. Put into perspective, that's like owning the golden goose in a world that's still largely dependent on fossil fuels. But what does this mean for Saudi Arabia's wealth and economy? Well, for starters, it's been a game changer. Oil has been the key that's unlocked the door to prosperity for this desert kingdom. From the moment oil was discovered in the late 1930s, it changed the economic landscape of the nation dramatically. Just imagine, a country that was once a desert kingdom is now one of the wealthiest nations in the world, all thanks to the bountiful reserves of this black gold. Let's talk numbers. Saudi Arabia produces about 10 million barrels of crude oil per day. Yes, per day. That's like filling up the Empire State Building 4 times over every single day. The revenue generated from this production contributes to nearly 90% of the country's export earnings and about 70% of the government revenue. It's a staggering figure that highlights just how integral oil is to the nation's economic health. But the influence of oil extends far beyond just numbers. It has shaped the country's social and cultural fabric too. Cities have sprouted up around oil fields, education and healthcare have improved, and the standard of living has skyrocketed. It's been a transformative journey, one that's been fueled by the power of oil. However, Saudi Arabia's relationship with oil is not a one-way street. The nation plays a pivotal role in the global oil market too. As one of the founding members of OPEC, it influences oil prices and production levels, impacting economies worldwide. However, oil is not the only game in town. Saudi Arabia's wealth extends beyond oil. This is a statement that's becoming increasingly relevant as the country looks to diversify its economy and reduce its dependence on fossil fuels. But that's a story for another scene. Saudi Arabia is not just about oil anymore. The nation, once synonymous with black gold, is steering its ship towards a diverse economic horizon. Aiding this journey is Vision 2030, an ambitious blueprint for economic and social reform. This initiative has set the stage for a new era, one where Saudi Arabia's wealth isn't just measured in barrels of oil, but in an array of blossoming sectors. Tourism, for instance, is on a steady upward trajectory. A land steeped in history and culture, Saudi Arabia is opening itself up to the world, inviting travelers to explore its vibrant cities, ancient ruins, and pristine coastlines. The kingdom's tourism sector has seen a significant surge in recent years. In fact, by the year 2022, revenue from tourism had increased by nearly 30% from the previous year. The entertainment sector, too, is experiencing a dynamic shift. From hosting international concerts to opening state-of-the-art cinemas and theme parks, Saudi Arabia is becoming a hub for entertainment in the Middle East. The entertainment sector's contribution to the GDP has grown by over 25% in the last few years, a testament to the kingdom's commitment to diversifying its economy. And then there's renewable energy, a sector that Saudi Arabia is keenly investing in. With its abundant sunshine, the kingdom is perfectly poised to become a global leader in solar energy. By 2030, it aims to generate half of its energy from renewables, a goal that underscores its dedication to sustainability and economic diversification. In this new economic landscape, Saudi Arabia's wealth is no longer solely tethered to the ebb and flow of oil prices. It's being bolstered by a rich tapestry of sectors that are not only contributing to the nation's GDP, but also shaping its identity in the global arena. Even though oil still dominates, these emerging sectors are adding new dimensions to Saudi Arabia's wealth. The nation is moving beyond its oil-centric past, embracing a future where its wealth is as diverse as the opportunities it offers. Saudi Arabia's wealth is vast, but how is it distributed? It's a question that's as intriguing as it is complex. Let's dive into it. Despite the country's immense wealth, a significant wealth gap exists. The disparity between the richest and the poorest is striking. In fact, the top 10% of the population controls nearly 76% of the nation's wealth. This leaves the remaining 90% to share a mere 24%. Quite a disparity, isn't it? But what does this wealth gap mean for society? Well, it can lead to various social issues, including crime, social instability, and reduced economic growth. Not to mention, it can hinder opportunities for those at the lower end of the income spectrum, making social mobility a steep climb. Now, let's look at how the government is addressing this issue. Saudi Arabia has introduced several measures aimed at reducing income inequality. For instance, the Saudi Vision 2030 initiative aims to diversify the economy and provide more opportunities for all citizens. It's a bold, ambitious plan, but one that shows promise. Additionally, the government has increased spending on public services like education, health, and social welfare. The hope is that by improving these areas, everyone, regardless of their income level, can have access to the necessary resources to improve their quality of life. And then there's the Citizens Account Program, a monthly cash transfer program for lower and middle-income families. It's designed to soften the impact of economic reforms and help bridge the wealth gap. These measures are steps in the right direction. However, the journey towards a more equitable distribution of wealth in Saudi Arabia is a long one. It requires continued effort, policy reform, and most importantly, the commitment to ensuring that the nation's wealth benefits all its citizens. Wealth distribution remains a challenge, but efforts are underway to create a more equitable society. The road may be long and winding, but with dedication and persistence, a more balanced Saudi Arabia is within reach. What does the future hold for Saudi Arabia's wealth? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? As we stand on the brink of tomorrow, it's only natural to wonder what lies ahead. Predicting future trends is no easy task, but we can make educated guesses based on current economic policies and global market conditions. Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, for instance, is a comprehensive roadmap for diversification. It's a bold move towards reducing the kingdom's dependence on oil and opening up new avenues for wealth creation. The prospects of the oil industry, while still significant, are changing. With the world moving towards renewable energy, the demand for oil will likely decrease. However, it's worth noting that oil is more than just fuel. It's a key ingredient in countless products we use daily, from plastics to cosmetics. So while the role of oil may change, it's unlikely to disappear completely. On the other hand, new sectors are emerging with promising potential. The tech industry, for example, is blossoming. Saudi Arabia's burgeoning tech scene is attracting global attention and investment. The kingdom's push for digital transformation could well be a game changer. Tourism, too, is a sector with enormous potential. Saudi Arabia's rich history, diverse landscapes, and cultural heritage are attracting travelers from all corners of the globe. The kingdom's aim to welcome 100 million visitors annually by the year 2030 is ambitious, but not impossible. Of course, every road to the future comes with its own set of challenges. Economic fluctuations, global politics, and environmental concerns are all factors that could influence the trajectory of Saudi Arabia's wealth. Yet, despite these challenges, the future looks promising. With careful planning, strategic investments, and a commitment to sustainable growth, Saudi Arabia is writing a new chapter in its wealth story. Saudi Arabia's wealth story is a complex one, with oil at its heart, but with new chapters being written every day. And as the plot thickens, the world watches with bated breath, eager to see how this fascinating tale of wealth, change, and potential unfolds.